Ethan Carter felt the laughter before he heard it. It came from the break room of the factory where he worked, the kind of stifled, mocking laughter that made his skin prickle. He had learned to ignore most things since becoming a single dad, but today something felt different. And when his coworker Ben nudged him with a smirk, Ethan realized why. "Got you a date tonight," Ben said. "Blind date. She's perfect for you." The others chuckled under their breath. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "I didn't ask for a date." "Yeah, but you need one," Ben replied. "Her name's Grace. Trust me, she's your type." The way they said, "your type," made Ethan's stomach tighten. He knew this wasn't kindness. This was a setup, a joke at his expense. They all knew he hadn't dated since his wife, Lily, passed away 3 years ago. Taking care of his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, had become his whole world. Still, that night, after putting Emma to bed, Ethan sat in his small apartment staring at his reflection. Why was he even considering going? Maybe because a part of him wanted to show them he wasn't someone they could toy with. Maybe because he didn't want to live in grief forever. Or maybe, he just needed to remember he was alive. He reached Café Rosemary 10 minutes early. It was warm, quiet, filled with the smell of cinnamon and the soft hum of evening chatter. He kept glancing at the door, feeling foolish, nervous, unsure. Then he saw her. A large woman in a blue dress stepped inside, clutching her purse as though it were a shield. Her eyes scanned the room anxiously. She hesitated at every table, searching for someone who wouldn't meet her gaze. Her cheeks flushed as people stared too long. A couple of teenagers snickered openly. Ethan's heart twisted, and then their eyes met. She approached slowly. "Ethan?" she asked, her voice soft, unsure. "Yes," he said, standing up. "You must be Grace." She blinked, perhaps surprised he seemed genuinely polite. Most men wouldn't have stood. Many wouldn't have admitted who they were. For the first few minutes, their conversation was awkward, like two people unsure if they were supposed to be there. But slowly, Grace began to relax. She had a gentle laugh. A thoughtful way of speaking. She was a preschool teacher who loved children and painted in her spare time. Ethan found himself smiling more than he had in years. Meanwhile, he noticed the glances from nearby tables. People whispered, mocked, pitied. Grace pretended not to hear, but her hands trembled when she lifted her cup. It angered him, how easily people passed judgment on someone who had done nothing but show up. Then Grace said quietly, "I know why you're here." Ethan felt his chest tighten. "What do you mean?" She looked down, twisting her hands. "A woman from your work called me. She said it would be funny to meet you because you weren't picky." She swallowed hard. "I almost didn't come, but I thought maybe someone would see me for who I am, not what I look like." For a moment, Ethan couldn't speak. Shame burned through him, not for himself, but for what they had done to her. "Grace," he said, leaning forward, voice steady, "if you think I'm here because of some joke, you're wrong. I'm here because you walked through that door with more courage than anyone in this room." Grace's eyes shimmered. "You don't have to be kind to me." "I'm not being kind," he replied. "I'm being honest." And then he said the words that silenced the entire cafe. "You are not the punchline, other people's cruelty is." A waiter who had been smirking froze. The teenagers stopped laughing. Even Grace's shoulders loosened as though a weight had been lifted. Ethan continued, voice firm but gentle, "I lost my wife 3 years ago. Since then, all I've seen is the worst in people. But tonight, meeting someone who still shows up despite how the world treats her. That's strength. That's beauty." Grace covered her mouth, tears spilling silently. Not dramatic tears, just the kind that come from a heart that hasn't been spoken to gently in a long time. They spent 2 hours talking, slowly, honestly, beautifully. When they walked outside, the night breeze brushed past them like a soft blessing. Before saying goodbye, Grace asked, "Why did you really come tonight?" He smiled. "Because my daughter keeps asking why her daddy is always sad. And I'm trying to change that." Tonight helped. Grace's smile trembled. Maybe we both needed tonight. Over the next weeks, Ethan and Grace talked more, shared meals, took Emma to the park. Grace became someone Emma adored, someone who sang silly songs, who painted unicorns and stars, who made their tiny home feel warmer. But challenges came too. People whispered when they went out. Ben and the guys at work teased Ethan for dating the joke. Some asked him if he was desperate. Others mocked Grace behind her back. One evening, Ethan had enough. During lunch at work, when Ben made another comment about his big girlfriend, Ethan stood up. "You think it's funny?" he said softly, yet everyone froze. Laughing at someone who's kind. Someone who's strong. Someone who has more heart than everyone in this room combined. Ben rolled his eyes. Come on, man. No, Ethan interrupted. Grace is worth 10 of you. And if you can't see that, that's your loss, not mine. Nobody laughed after that. Months passed, and love grew, not in a fiery, dramatic rush, but in the steady warmth of trust and tenderness. Grace helped Emma with her homework. Ethan helped Grace believe she deserved more than pity, she deserved love. One spring morning, before church, Emma tugged Grace's hand and said, I hope you stay with us forever. Grace looked at Ethan, unsure how to respond. Ethan knelt beside his daughter. Why do you want that, sweetheart? Emma smiled shyly. Because she makes you happy again. Grace's eyes filled with tears. Ethan reached for her hand, the same hand that had trembled the first night at the cafe. He held it firmly now. Grace, he said, voice soft, I think I want that too. In the months that followed, they built a life together, full of laughter, healing, and long conversations. Grace learned to love herself again.